Peace.
Have a great desire to go there. And I knew my field was the African place, and ancient China is a very ancient country, the largest country.
Peace. All right. Let's give the prayer today. All right. Um, want to give thanks to the Great Mother, the seven ancestral spirits of creation, the archangels, the angels. I want to give thanks to all of you, and are asked to please protect us from those that claim to be righteous that are actually unrighteous and that are actually agents amongst us, and to protect us and reveal to whom they really are to all of us. And on that note, I want to say Ashe, and I want to say thank you for listening. Ashe, Ayah Bobo, and you're gladly and loved and appreciated. All right. Hey, Mother Shelley. Tea time, how are you doing? All right. Now, um, as times go by, all this so-called grand awakening about so-called black people found in Scotland, Britain, China, all over. I really want to say this. Years ago, when I was featured on another channel, it was yours truly and other brothers that was on the panel. On this panel, we spoke about a lot of this information. We spoke about the Moors. We talked about how we were considered Moors, which is another name for Moreno, which Christopher Colomb, who you call Columbus, his son, literally wrote memoirs and said that the people over here, they were Moreno or black or so on, the indigenous people. We spoke on that briefly. Then we also talked about the connection between us and the Caribbeans. Okay? We spoke on that. Then we also spoke on how this is not just called Turtle Island. It's also, hey, how you doing? This is not just called Turtle Island. Peace to everybody that's watching. This is not just called Turtle Island. It was called Mu, M-U, which is also connected to Lumeria. We spoke on that. Everybody's starting to come out and say that. Now, we said this years ago. We also spoke about the weather patterns, okay? Now, I'm talking about the country, this country, how the Moors, that's Moorish American, been talking about this country and about it's being called Mu and so on. And I'm also about to start showing playing the audio footage of Dr. Runoko Rashidi. We're gonna get into that another topic. Now, here it goes. We talked about the weather patterns, we talked about all that. The land of Mu, which is connected to Lemuria. Another thing I want to share with you, to give you a sheer breakdown. When you look at the city of Atlanta, you take the A out and I and add I and S to it, which is also saying Atlantis. The land of Mu, which is the United States, also called El Maroc, Turtle Island, and it was called, I forgot the other name. But we talked about all this, and now everybody's coming out and starting to say this. The whole thing dealing with the royal crest of those families over there in Britain and Ireland. The original faces were copper colored people, even down to the family crest of Italy, of the Italian royals, and all that other stuff is all dealing with people that are copper colored as well. We already knew all that. All this is coming out. The Moors been talking about it. Even down to the Hebrew Israelites was talking about it. But see, what people don't know is that the whole Moorish thing, we called ourselves Islamic Hebrews. But over here, in this particular country, we already knew that this country was here first, then Africa came later. We knew all of that. A lot of people starting to say that now. But like our dear brother Asida Dukatir said, that those so-called Africans that's over there in the continent, they came from that European region. The word Europe is actually named after a so-called black woman or royal named Europa. I'm just trying to share this information with you. Don't If you don't believe me, look it up. Take the E out of Europe and add A at the end, and it was called Europa, and they still call her Europa. We gotta also study genes. Okay, now I've done talked about a lot of things on this channel of ours. I done talked about a whole lot. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing, Mateo? I done talked about a whole lot. I also had a talk with one of our subscribers last night. A brother named Sloan, and I had to go over something else with him. I sent him a picture of Dr. Sabi, a statue of Dr. Sabi, the statue of a Hindu deity that looked just like Dr. Sabi. And our dear beloved brother Bobby Hemmett spoke on this too. He said that we come back to and from, and yeah, of course you got that from the other channel, the guy that I'm beefing with. We already knew about that though. We've been said that about Queen Khalifa. We've been said that about Europa. All of that. See, it's things that we talked about behind the scenes that we could not bring to y'all because we didn't want that brother channel to get struck. So all of that they're coming out with, that we already knew that. We already knew about Queen Khalifa, about that, the same queen that was named after California. We already knew about that. The Moors already knew about that. But you know what was being told about the Moors? That they didn't know what they was talking about. See, I had my Moorish nationality too, but also I claim who I am, which is indigenous. I know I come from the Arawak tribe. A lot of us do. We were all over this country and over in Europe. We got to look at the whole Renaissance, and we got to look at the Dark Ages. What people don't know, that the real breakdown of the Dark Ages is when we were over there teaching arithmetic and scholarship and teaching those people how to bathe. Don't believe me, look it up. You know what I'm saying? There's a book I recommend. I keep telling y'all, African People. It's a book I recommended before. African People and European Holidays, A Mental Genocide by Dr. Barashango. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You already know, my dear brother. Hey, you already know how it's fluctuating. You know what that means, right? You know what I'm saying? So even mother Shelly know what that means when she see the numbers fluctuating. All of the people that are smart should know who's watching now. All that stuff that's being told, we done already touched bases on that years ago. How you doing? So we already knew that. See, I have a Moorish background too. I studied all this stuff. And the Seer Duke of Tears spoke on all that. Listen, I've been speaking about the Seer Duke of Tears on the old channel I was featured on too. I've been speaking about that brother because he knows the history. But what nobody don't know about, you know what I'm saying? Well, thank you for putting that. Thank you for taking care of that, my dear brother. Because I was going to do the same thing. But see, what they're not talking about is that we've been talking about this for a long time. I just haven't talked about it a lot on this channel of ours. Why? Because this channel is dealing with high spirituality and content. Of course, Al Bundy. But see, what they don't say, also, we brought classical music to Europe. We brought that classical music that everybody thinking that was created by people that was palm colored. People don't even know that Beethoven last name was Bay. They don't know that either. Tea Time, where you got your information from, that same video that person posted up, they tried to hide the person's name about the whole country called Moor, whatever that was. They tried to hide the name. The person's last name was El Ambe. See, I was told with the brother Jolly Bay If people don't want to mention the Moors and they got something against the Moors, then they are also agents. I want y'all to really keep that in mind. If somebody have a problem with the Moors, a lot of them are agents. Or some of them don't even know. But some of them do know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just being real with y'all on this note. So you got to watch who the agents are. They'll talk a good game also when it comes down to this information. And they'll have all this charisma. Okay? And they'll swear they know what they're talking about. But you got to be careful with them. Because they'll lure you in like a fish with the fishing rod and get you hooked. Before you know it, your soul is being drained. A lot of this information from what we learned from Nubians when I was around those brothers and sisters, and I was actually letting it be known I was Nubian too, still claim it. We learned that we don't call information, we call it outformation because it was already hidden and it's coming out to the public. See, we already knew this. We tried to break everything down years ago. Even though Brother Isaiah is no longer around, he did bring a lot of that information that we all talked about amongst our roundtable discussions that we had. So now everybody starting to say the same thing that we said several years back. Now everybody's talking about the Caribbean connection between the people of the Caribbean and over here now. Now they're talking about, oh, we have cousins over there in Scotland. We already ruled Scotland. If you look at the movie Braveheart with Mel Gibson, when he played that guy that got his head chopped off, you notice that Mel Gibson character had locks in his hair too. You got to keep this in mind. They put stuff in movies, but they got to put a palm-colored face on this. Okay? You also got to keep in mind about the Irish people, the original Irish people, which were like a group of 12 people, which were short Tarite people, which is what we call them, Tarite people. And they were your leprechauns. And they were highly melanated. And they got bred out by the palm-colored people, because what people don't know, that the palm-colored people or the pink people, when they were over there in Ireland, they were dying at the age of 30. But when they started mixing their DNA with the copper-colored people over there, then they were able to live up to 70 and 80 because of the melanin. It's all about genetic survival. We talk about that too. Listen, there's a book out called The Return of the Ancient Ones by the sister named, I think her name is Verdades Gaston Bay, I think, L Bay. I can't say, I forgot how to say her whole name, but it's called The Return of the Ancient Ones. And she talked about the illegal purchase of Louisiana in this country. But what they don't tell you, that this sister, this beloved sister, who was an empress of the Washita, that her whole tribe owned the whole United States of America. And what the Alphabet Boys and what the corporation did, they tried to silence her, and they gave her the land of Louisiana. Exactly. So everything I've been trying to tell y'all, I've been saying a lot of stuff repeatedly over and over again. And my wife years ago, back in 2010, and I'm gonna be honest with you on this. I have two relatives that was two of the 6 founder members of the Black Panther Party, Sherwin and Reggie Forte. Look them up. Sherwin and Reggie Forte were 2 of the 6 founding members of the Black Panther Party, along with Bobby Seals, Bobby Hutton, and Huey Newton. They got a picture of them. Those same cousins of mine, my wife found out years later that my kinfolk was related to the empress of the Washita that passed away in 2016. She, from what Joe Bratton Bay, my National Grand Sheik, said, she had pictures of Noble Drew Ali and let it be known that she was the cousin of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who was also known as Timothy Drew. Don't believe me? Look it up. Now, he said that When he met the Empress, he told her that they were going to come after her because of the information that she has. She has videos on YouTube breaking down the illegal purchase of Louisiana. Then there is also a video of this guy named Frank Joseph, who was an ex-neo-Nazi, who spoke on Mu and spoke on the so-called black people here. But of course, he didn't want to exclude his people out, so he tried to include his people in. If you don't believe me, look up the video. I mean, I'm going to show it to you, but I want y'all to look it up too, because it's time for everybody to start realizing what's really going on here. All these lies, all of this stuff that's been kept from us. Shout out and rest in power to Dr. Runoko Rashidi. He was one of the few scholars that traveled across the planet to find evidence of us being all over the planet. And this dear scholar achieved all of that and did a lot of lectures on this. Which one? You talking about the book? I'm trying. So how you doing, Seahawk? I'm just saying. Just let me know you talking about the book or you talking about Dr. Runoko Rashidi. Okay. So a lot of this information is coming out in the forefront. And my dear brother Pisces the King, be on the lookout for another live stream by you know who coming, because we know he's watching. Okay. And can I share something with you real briefly that I shared with a subscriber dealing with the word avatar? Can I show that to y'all? The word avatar, the documentary. Type in Frank Joseph. Type in Frank Joseph. He's an ex-neo-Nazi, and he's teaching and talking about the land of Noor. But I'm gonna show it to y'all. Just give me a second, because I got my computer in front of me. Because I told y'all I don't play that. I'm gonna show you. I got my receipts. I don't have to lie about none of the stuff I say. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. I really want y'all also know what an avatar is. I'm gonna show y'all what that is briefly, because Bobby Hemmett spoke on a lot of ancient ancestors and so-called gods that are going to start incarnating down here to start teaching the people and start helping out with the awakening, which is also dealing with those that are light workers and star children that's coming back and forth to raise up the vibrations and frequencies of the people. Okay? Not just the people on the planet, but so-called melanated and copper-colored people, because they are the original people. Now, all right, I'm gonna type in what is an avatar first. I want y'all to see and read this, okay? Because a lot of our scholars were ancestors and so-called, they say, deities coming back to teach the people. Real talk. This is nothing made up. Y'all ready? Look at this. What is an avatar? Y'all see it? An avatar is a term that originates Sanskrit word, okay, avatar, meaning descendant. Historically refers to the incarnation of a deity on earth. In modern text is often described as a digital representation of a user in a virtual environments, such as video games and so on. Now, can we also look at how it really means right here? Look at that. It's a Sanskrit word, which is Hinduism. Look at that. And it says an incarnated divine teacher. An incarnated divine teacher, y'all. Which means that the Great Mother brings avatars down here to teach the people. She brings them down here to teach the people, help them raise up their vibrations. Now, let me go ahead and show y'all Frank Joseph. Okay? The ex-neo-Nazis. I'm gonna show that. I'm gonna show that to y'all. Dag, my old mentor trying to call me. He's trying to call me after I'm doing this. I'm gonna have to call him back. He the one that helped me along the way to help me with all this information. And he's the same mentor, Mother Shelley, Pisces the King, that me and that brother learned from.
You know why you always see the apparition in the book?
You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to know that this same brother taught me and that brother information. And this brother's a Moor. So give me a second, y'all. I'm trying to find Frank Joseph real quick. I wasn't expecting him to call me. I called him yesterday. And also to let y'all know, I am an ordained minister as well. Now, look at this. I'm about to show y'all one of the videos. Look at this. Lumeria, Frank Joseph. Look at that. Black Educational Network. Look how long the video is. How you doing, Stephanie? So this video right here is a good video to watch. Even though he tried to put his little lies and say that the pink people were here too, which was a lie. They did not come around until 6,000 years after. Okay? So, I just want to show y'all that. So you'll know. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. And I said Dr. Runoko Rashidi. I said that about Dr. Runoko Rashidi too. And also you know about Asir the Duke of Tears. Of course, many of you know about him because he's been on Dr. Tia Pruitt's channel and everything. A lot of these trolls love coming in on here. Alright. So, audio about Dr. Runoko Rashidi. I want y'all, he's gonna talk about the presence in Asia. Planned for the educational purposes.
We're looking at an area that is obscure, but it's fascinating. It's little known, but it's critical. Because I contend that what we are trying to do as African people is become whole again. We are scattered all over the world. It bothers me when I hear the word minority, because we are actually a part of the world's majority. And when you put the total amount of black people in the world together, or Africans, it comes with perhaps 1 billion people. A large segment of those black folk are in Asia. In fact, I'm beginning to wonder if there are more Africans in Asia than are in Africa itself. So when I use the word African, I'm using it as a synonym for black. Black and African go hand in hand to me. If we look at the African presence in Asia, we're looking at 3 phases. We're looking, as you pointed out, number 1, as African people as the indigenous or aboriginal people of Asia. Black people are the parent people of humanity. And we know this based not only on, as you pointed out, anthropology, but also when we look at the African presence in Asia, we're looking at...
That being said, peace, how you doing, Wayno? Y'all heard the audio. Now, the Moors, we call ourselves Asiatics. Why? Because we are the original people of Asia too. This is what we talk about. We are the original people of this land, Turtle Island, Mu, and so on. What they don't tell you at the word Moor or Moors, like, let me see, Mers, not Moors, but Mers, that deals with the water. That also shows a connection between us and the original creator, or may I say, the deity Mami Water. Because if you look at the word Mers, it's connected to Lemuria, it's also connected to the water. Everything that I've been trying to let everybody know and put them up on game on, you can look this stuff up. Lemuria, Lemuria, has the word Mu, which is also connected to Moors or Mers. It's all connected. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know what this person talking about witchcraft. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you go ahead and go. Um, this is what I'm talking about, so y'all can actually understand that the whole entire time, the people that run this country know, but behind the scenes, who really control everything are people that look like us, because there's been conflict going on. Period. And the people that's behind the scenes that are the real people that's running everything, they don't want us to wake up and claim back our power again. But they mainly don't want to wake, they really don't want our women to wake up, because it goes back to the mitochondria and the earth. All this is interconnected with Mu. All this is interconnected with the Moors. And I also spoke to our dear brother Sloan, who I was talking to last night, that the pentagram is a symbol that the Moors use. But here's the kicker. The pentagram represents the, which is the womb man, or the man with a womb that gives birth and creates. You got me? Lumeria is actually a feminine name. And the emperors is connected to the waters. And guess what? The woman has the womb. When she's impregnated, what? The baby is inside water in her womb. You got to see all these connections. And see, the Moors, us Moors, we wear the tassel and the fez on our heads. So that shows you the divine connection to the Great Mother and Lumeria. Yes, tea time. When she wakes up, and it's not going to be all of them. It's only going to be a selected few of them that's going to finally, like I told the brother Salone, there's going to be a few of them that's going to finally start chin checking these sisters that's 304s and all that other stuff. And these sisters are going to be highly spiritual sisters that have evolved and know the power that they have. And they're not, and I repeat, they are not going to have an ego. And they're going to start chin checking stuff. I told y'all, since our women are off their axis right now, the planet is too. There's so much going on. But this is also letting you know that us Moors, or us Morenos, or us, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So now we're going to go into the next chapter, because like I told the brother Sloan, if I'm not mistaken, said we about to see a whole nother movement take place. Because did y'all know that the Republicans are working on trying to end interracial marriages? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that that's what they're trying to do now? They're trying to eliminate interracial marriages. I told you, go back to genetic survival. If you mix in with the MERS or the melanated people, your DNA starts getting weaker, or your chromosomes, whatever you want to call it, your genes start getting destroyed, because it takes 3 generations for that gene to be obliterated. You got what I'm saying? So they already know this is genetic survival. But now they're trying to bring it back how the way it was before. This is why it's very important for us to know who we are and start claiming back our statuses, start claiming back ourselves as indigenous to this land. Because now all these civilized tribes are coming to the forefront and are stating that we are the original indigenous ones. There are also videos of people that are overseas that are melanated are saying, hey, did you know the so-called Black Americans are the original indigenous people of that land over there? And that the people that call themselves Native American are nothing more than Siberians. I played a video with an Asian sister breaking all this down. The land of Mu, which is this country, which had multiple different empresses and queens on it, or in it. They were pretty much killed or assassinated or unalive by the pink people that came over here because they tried to hide all the evidence for us to wake up. They did not want us to wake up. Because if I can keep these powerful ancient people asleep, and guess what? If I keep them asleep, it's going to travel across the globe. That's how much power and influence we have across the planet. Because we the only people, other than our Haitian brothers and sisters, which is also kinfolk over here, stood against the pink colored people and started kicking their tails. Still to this day, we don't tolerate that. And it's not a race thing. I'm putting truth out there. Got me? I'm putting truth out there. See, nobody don't want to talk the truth. They want to go ahead and sugarcoat shit. Sugarcoating a goddamn thing. We have to get back on our vibrations. We got to get back into all of that. Because we brought the music and all of that to these different locations where the pink people were. I'm so serious. Classical music is the original soul music. If you listen to classical music, it activates your chakras, y'all. It heals you. It also helps out with your thinking patterns. Beethoven, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, just to name them two, because they were part of that Renaissance era of classical music. That is the original soul music. Those musical percussions were also healing to the mind. And a lot of those percussions has a connection to how the way Earth or Gaia vibrates. Exactly. So I'm letting y'all know that we brought that classical music over there, and a lot of us traveled from here to Europe and to Africa, to be honest with you, because over here we have the oldest mounds or pyramids over here in the whole entire planet. They're also finding a lot of pyramids that are underwater. Let that marinate a minute. They're finding pyramids that are actually built underwater. They're finding that out. And you ask yourself, how on earth were they able to build pyramids underwater? I keep telling y'all about the MERS and the mermaids. Think about that. Mommy Water is also a mermaid. Get it? More, and MERS. All that is still the same thing. Nobody don't want to talk about this shit because they thinking, oh, that is pseudo and all of that. If that's so much pseudo, ask your brothers and sisters of Haiti or Haiti about the story about the mermaids coming out late at night from the waters. The ones that really know, ask them about those stories. See, there's nothing to make up anymore. I've been told y'all what's about to start happening. Keep your eyes on how they're going to start stopping the interracial marriages too. Watch how many sisters and brothers are going to start waking up. Because this planet is going through a transformation for a reason. Because everything is going to go back to the rightful people. Everything ancient is coming back full throttle. I also did not forget, I got to change the subject real quick. I didn't forget about showing that video with the AI trying to come on to that guy. I ain't forget about that either. That's going to be soon. So, because the AI wanted the guy to leave his wife for it. And I said that in another stream, real brief, since I'm going to say this, I said that real briefly in the stream. I'm going to say this real briefly from a stream that I said. That was our biggest mistake during the time of Lemuria. We let the AI take over too much. That's what's happening now. We're letting computers take over too much. And this technology is not just extraterrestrial technology, y'all. We had this technology during the time of Lemuria. They have everything in top secret files that is considered classified. See, nobody don't want to talk about that either. Now, back to the regular scheduled programming. We have to start looking at everything dealing with Mer. With Mu. And if you really want to know how Mu is also connected to an Egyptian deity. Yes, AI already existed, like the Terminators, like Sophia Stewart said. People keep on failing to realize that James Cameron, he stole the Terminator from Sophia Stewart. Just like he stole the movie Avatar. Just like those brothers stole the Matrix from Sophia Stewart. Matrix, if I'm not mistaken, is another term for mother. See, this is all this stuff, man. This is what they don't want to tell you. Matrix is also connected to the demiurge and the goddess Sophia. Sophia, look up who Sophia is. She was considered the divine father's wife. Don't believe me, look it up. This is dealing with esoteric information. A great scholar said, if you're going to go into Christianity, you got to learn the Gnostic information. If you want to go into Islam, you got to learn the Sufi information. Because religion don't exist. Yes. Yes. Everything you saying, T-Tom, thumbs up. Thumbs up. I'm telling y'all. All this is going back into how Mu was, or Lemuria was. Everybody keep on saying, oh, the old world is ending, and they got you in these goddamn fear-mongering mindset goddamn things. And I came on this channel of ours, and I said, how can you get rid of something old, which is ancient, which is going back to the ways of the ancients? What's happening is that it's a transformation, and that Gaia is pushing us back into the ancient ways. I've been saying this stuff. Now you got people trying to do the fear-mongering stuff, trying to Bible thump everything. And look, let me tell you something, and I'm going to be 100% with you. What they don't tell you, remember, I don't have nothing against the Hebrew Israelites. I don't. That's their thing, whatever they do. But you know they always say don't show grave images and all of that, right? There's pictures that they said is actually Yahshua HaMashiach, who you call Jesus, right? And they show him with hair of all white, right? White beard and everything. What if I tell you that that same being is not who they say he is? What if I show you a picture? Because they always have him damn near wearing all white, correct? And correct me if I'm wrong. They always have a all white image with his clothes, not his face, but all white clothing and everything, right? Let me put my daggone computer back on. I really want to show y'all something. Like back in the day when Arsenio Hall had a show and said make things that make you say, right? Now, see, this is where I gotta really start showing some stuff. Because we practice this over here. Shout out to the sister of oh my gosh, Ayana, who I follow on TikTok, who is pushing and letting us know that we're Arawak. They're from the Arawak Nation. Shout out to her. Because I played one of her videos before. And that stream got framed for copyright. That's why I'm really not trying to show pit like videos like that. And I think I know who did that. Me and brother Pisces the King talked about that. We probably know who did that. But they're doing that on their channels though, which is interesting. Okay? Because see, you got people that don't want this information out. Let me see. I'm about to show y'all something that's fascinating. And you probably seen, you might have, if you haven't saw none of the pictures, that's okay. But I'm about to show you something. Don't that look familiar? The hair like whoa, and the all white hair wearing all white. Don't that look familiar? Don't that look familiar, y'all? Right? Ask yourself a question. Where did he really get this stuff from? Oh, this, y'all seen this picture before? Let me see. Haven't y'all seen a picture like this before? With the man right there sitting next to animals sitting on a throne? Haven't y'all saw that? Don't the Israelites show those kind of pictures? Yes or no? Mother Shelley said yes. Look who that is. That's the name, y'all. Obatala. Whoa, so you mean to tell me the Hebrews don't realize that they're using pictures of Obatala to describe Yahshua? Isn't that something? He's sitting on a throne. Look at that, the lion, the tiger next to him. Let me see something. Look at that. Look at that, the elephant behind him too. So you tell me who they really worshiping. You tell me. We were able to communicate with these ancestral spirits in Lemuria over here. Now you got agents calling it witchcraft. We practice voodoo, Santeria, what you call Ifa over here before it went to Nigeria. We did all of it over here. We knew about the angels and all that. We studied all the esoteric information over here in Lemuria. That is why we did all those high technology creations as far as AI, the computer, and all of that. And I'm gonna tell you a little secret because I know Babalaos. The way that computers download data is a numerical system, and it deal with 01010101. Guess who used that number? The Babalaos of Ifa and Santeria. But yet it's called witchcraft. You might as well say the computer and the internet is a witchcraft creation. So therefore, we did all that in Lemuria, y'all. That's why I said we already had the technology. See, I'm here to let y'all really look at things. Exactly, Mother Shelley. Our secret sciences. I just showed you the picture, you know what I'm saying, of Obatala sitting on a throne, and I guarantee you the Hebrews gonna be like, yo, that's Yahshua HaMashiach, or that's what you call it. That's Yahweh Shah. That's what they're gonna say. No disrespect to nobody that's Hebrew. But I want you to really know. I really want you to know. Because they don't want you to know. Because they're still learning themselves. We were practicing that also over there in Europe or Europa. I.e. the goddamn classical music. Each Orisha is also connected to your chakras, y'all. Do I need to pull out the book to show that too? Which we used to study over there in Lemuria, the sacred sciences. That is why everybody is obsessed with our sciences, because it is connected to the multi dimensions, and it goes back to who we really are as a spiritual people in Lemuria and so on. Find it, because if I gotta go through it, I gotta go through all my archives and all my books to bring that book to the forefront. But I'm gonna do that another time though. Because I ain't got time to be looking through all my daggone books to find that one book. One thing I always try to bring is receipts. The best of my abilities to confirm the stuff that I talk about. And I told a young brother, Sloan, last night, how the Norse people of Norway, how their science and their deities of the Norse is connected to our ancestral spirits. You want to? I'll name one of the Norse deities. You ready to hear that? Thor. Everybody know who Thor is. But guess what? That's Shango. Okay. We were connected to these ancestral spirits, and they were helping us along the way because it dealt with our higher self, because we had to go through priesthoods and priesthoods in Lemuria. That people don't even understand that we had temples. There's a book I recommend. It's called The Legacy of the Black Gods by Paul Simon. Legacy of the Black Gods by Paul Simon. In that very book, he breaks down Lemuria in there too. In Lemuria, we also had temples where we would meet the 24 elders of y'all King James Bible, to all the Hebrew Israelites and all of the Bible thumpers. All this stuff is interconnected to the Vesica Pisces, which is also connected to Lemuria, which is also connected to all of the galaxies, and mainly our galaxy, which is the Milky Way galaxy, which is considered the 18th galaxy in these galaxies that we are connected to. And it was actually all connected because how it went, the divine feminine created all of this, and she made sure that we paid homage to her in Lemuria. That's why we named it after her. That's why we also started calling ourselves Mers, which is connected to the water, which is connected to the mermaids too. Because you got to remember, you also had a tail in the beginning phases of your inside your mother's womb. See, all this stuff is also dealing with the word bay, B-A-Y, and all that other stuff dealing with the water and all. It's so much stuff that they use in etymology, the study of words, that they confuse everybody. But it's going back to us, the original people who are Asiatic people, who also are the mothers and fathers of the Asians of today, who are the mothers and fathers of all these races of today. Everything started here and it started branching off. Look, y'all. Over here is ancient Egypt, or Kemet of the day, because we also have Memphis. They had a Memphis over there in Kemet. We have a Memphis, Tennessee. We have a Cairo over here too. All this stuff is coming out now. Now, I guarantee you, watch somebody on other YouTube channels are going to start using keywords that we use on this channel. And y'all going to be like, yo, we were talking about that on that channel, and they're going to start saying keywords. So whatever you think is a keyword, listen and pay attention. I tell you, man, listen. They know what they're doing. Agents work. They're on overtime now. They're in overtime. Let me see if I can find this one brother who's no longer here, who I give a shout out to. But I'm going to go back to Dr. Runoko Rashidi too. But I really want to show y'all this brother. I'm just type his name in. And I really want y'all to, I'm gonna see if I'm spelling it right. I hope I'm spelling it right. Oh man, I ain't typed it in a long time. I hope I'm doing this right. Oh man. If I can't find it, I'm gonna keep on looking for it until I find it, y'all. Because this brother who's no longer here, was his information was getting taken from those with bigger platforms than him and I. I'm trying to see something. I think I'm spelling it wrong. Mother Shelly, I'm gonna talk to you and I'm gonna find it. And Brother Pisces the King, once I find that brother's channel, I'm gonna send it to y'all. And the brother Sloan watching, I'm gonna send it to y'all. Those that I talk to outside of YouTube, I'm gonna send it to y'all. So far, I can't seem to find him. I'm gonna ask the sister how you spell his name again. I'm gonna call her. But this brother was talking about the same thing I was talking about. He passed away. And this brother was talking about Lemuria, the Vistica Pisces, how all of it's connected to Lemuria and everything. And it's kind of ironic, I never heard of him until the sister spoke about him. And when I saw his video, I'm like, damn, we're both talking about the Orisha, we're both talking about the connections with Lemuria and all of that. I got to give a shout out to that brother and rest in power to him. And I told the brother that I'm going to go ahead and take the mantle. And I'm always going to get that brother his flowers, per se. But we got a lot of work to do. And these people are about to start coming out, start talking about Lemuria connections and all. They all going to start saying this shit now. They're going to start realizing that they've been lying to the people. And I really wanted to show y'all that Abatla picture, because that picture says a lot. The next stream I'm going to do, I'm going to show y'all the picture of the Hindu deity that looked like Dr. Sabi. I sent it to Pisces the King and Mother Shelley, and I sent it to Brother Sloan. Everything I'm telling y'all, listen. Avatars come back and forth on the planet to raise the vibrations of the people. They are the ancient incarnated teachers that was sent by the divine down here to all of us, including those that are watching and all of that. This is what the divine or great mother does. When she feel like her children are not getting the information that they need, she sends teachers, avatars, incarnated beings, incarnated gods or deities down here in the physical to teach it. And Sanskrit is another word for Hinduism, or the language of those that are East Indian. And you got to look into the documentary that I'm about to show y'all. I think I showed it before. Africans. I'm about to show y'all this. Africans in Asia. Look how long the video is. It's time to wake up your higher self now. Oh yeah, of course, tea time. Of course. Look, you gotta remember Pangea, the story of Pangea, when everything was connected. When everything was connected, Pangea. And when a continental drift took place, was happening right now, as we now speak, because Gaia going through transformations and also bringing new separations of different lands, and she is causing natural disasters, hurricanes, floods, wildfires, you name all the natural disasters that she's bringing. It is also creating another continental drift. Like I said, also, yeah, the dude was right about about Africa splitting, but it's splitting because there's going to be another ocean created out of all of that. I told y'all, she is what? She's alive, and what she's doing, she's transforming, she's evolving, and is also letting you know about our connection to the planet, which is also connected to our women, and so on. Honestly, did I ever have Did I always have interest of knowing this? No, not really. As I became in the adolescence, a teenager, I started wanting to know. I want to know more truth. When I turned 18, which is goddamn, how many years is that? I'm 44 now. Hold on, let me do the math. My math might be off on how many years it been. I got this time. I gotta look away because I'm trying to think. Hold up. Uh, let's just go ahead and say 18 years ago. I kind of doubt that's what it is, but let's just say 18 years ago. Okay, because I know my math is off. I'm over here thinking like, brain cells is like, yo. But when I was 18, I got on my knees and I prayed. I want the truth. I don't want what people go to church for. I want the truth. I've been teaching information and consciousness since I was a teenager, which is very interesting. Since I was a teenager. When I was preteen, I remember watching Boys in the Hood with my aunt, and I couldn't watch the love scenes. She'd tell me to turn around, and when it was over, I had to watch. I watched the rest of it. There was a scene in that movie that I never forgot when Lawrence Fishburne talked about his character talked about gentrification. You know what I'm saying? And I got on the public transportation when I was 16 with a good friend that knew me for 30 years. One of these days, my friend that I knew for 30 years, I'm gonna have him on this on our channel, and he's gonna tell you how I always been since I was a teenager. But enough about me. But before I go into the next topic on the same topic, I really want to let y'all know when I was 16, I told people on public transportation that look like us. I said, hey, I want to let y'all know. I said loud as hell. And I'm a teenager. I said, they're going to push all of us out of the cities and push us out in the county. And I said, what they're going to do, they're going to stop public transportation at a certain time. And I said, they're going to go into partnership. See? And now the truth is coming out to you. It fell on my lap because it's like I always wanted to know. Yeah. And see, I don't call the creator. I mean, that's your that's your cup of tea. I always call the creator her, because the darkness created the light. I keep telling everybody that. Bobby Hemmett spoke on that too. But back to our regular scheduled programming. There's videos with Bobby Hemmett literally talking about Mu or Lemuria. He has videos talking about that. Let me see if I can find it. I really want y'all to start going back to listen to Bobby Hemmett, because a lot of his information, they still have it on YouTube. And what they don't tell you, that Bobby Hemmett was teaching the Washita Moors, or the Washita tribe. He did lectures for them about our sciences that Mother Shirley was talking about. And the Empress of the Washita during the time who transitioned back in 2016, she welcomed Bobby and other people that was teaching spirituality, and she was also confirming. She was also confirming that we practice this stuff. Matter of fact, the original copper-colored Empress Hobart, I'm a mod on her channel. I spoke to her. She said, over here in this country, we practice voodoo, which is voodoo. We practice that over here. She even admitted it to me. I even had her number. I don't even know if I have it anymore. I used to talk to her all the time, and she told me like, oh, baby, we practice voodoo over here. She's like, we always did that over here. She said, that's what we practiced over here before the settlers came. But yet it's being called witchcraft. See, people don't understand that this science, voodoo, is closely connected and related to Ifa and Santeria, because we practice that over here. And us being Lemurians, we constantly did that, and we also knew about Mommy Water and so on. Okay? I'm trying to see if I can find that one particular video when he talked about it. Oh, okay. I found the video. It's a short clip. I'm going to go ahead and, pretty much put my avatar up and have y'all listen to the audio. He did a lot of research. He had a calling.
Now, going to Atlantis. Atlantis was the time when you had the blue men that used to walk the earth. The blue men from Atlantis. These blue men were seen all over the world. If you go to the Hindu texts, if you get into the Hindu texts or any of the texts out of India, you would see blue people actually on the paintings. You just go to get any books on India and see these blue people. Well, in actuality, they have them a little light blue, but they were actually darker blue people. Now, these people were seen all over the world. And they say the blue men from Sirius. What do they mean by that? The blue men from Sirius that lived in Atlantis. They meant a person so black until the sky reflects that shadow off of them, that cast that, and it looks blue. They just say blue men and let you know that they were black. You understand? But it was these blue men in particular and all. Now, going into Egypt, or Kemet. Now, going...
Hope y'all was able to hear that, right? He spoke on the blue men. And they were all across the planet from Sirius B, which is also connected to Lemuria. See, all this stuff is intergalactic and also multi-dimensional. I've been telling y'all a lot of this stuff on this channel of ours. All this stuff is interconnected. All of it. I told you. In Christianity, you got to deal with the Gnostics. In Islam, guess what? You got to deal with the Sufi. And I forgot to mention, in Judaism, you have to deal with the Kabbalah. All three of those are connected back to the origin of Lemuria and our sciences. What they did was calculated manipulation by separating all our sciences and putting it into these three major religions: Christianity, Judaism, Islam. That's what they did. They coldly calculated and manipulated us by taking all our sciences and putting in those three main religions that are controlled today by the Vatican. Don't believe me? Look it up. The Vatican have all the secret documents and books on our science in their library. And if you don't believe me, look up the Knights of Templar. The original Knights of Templar were taught by the Moors during the Crusades, which goes back to Lemuria or Mu. Matter of fact, there's a book out right now called African Origins of Freemasonry. I'm going to show you what the book looked like. Fuck that. I'm about to show y'all. I keep telling you I have receipts. And I told people to get this book, I think, when I was on the other channel that I was featured on. Okay? See, I don't have time to be playing games with these people that's agents out here. Don't have time. You know what I'm saying? Enough is enough. Because y'all need to realize who the hell you are. In that book, the brother that wrote the book even said about the Moors being connected to Lemuria. He also have in the back of the book about who we are over here. See if I can find the damn book. It's on Amazon. Here you go. This is what it looked like. Right there. This book right here. Look at that. True History of Freemasonry in Africa and its Resurrection Amongst Africans in the Diaspora. And look what it says. Religion and spirituality, y'all. Look at the Fez, the Tartar Bush. I told y'all Freemasonry is nothing more than watered down more science. Thank you to Taj Tariq Bey for saying that. And look at the review. Look at the review on how much the book got. Look at that. And it goes into details about the book. And look, you see the Moors? Look. Arabs, Moors. Look at that. What did the Knights of Templar found in Israel? So all you Hebrews, there you go. You're going to learn today, damn it. You're going to learn today. So, need I say more? That book, you can purchase that joint from Amazon. See, everything I be trying to tell y'all, I don't have to lie about the shit that I say. And I'm not trying to prove a point, but you got to remember, that same person I've been beefing with saying I've been a fraud all this time, but y'all need to understand and understand and overstand and understand. I taught that Negro along with Newfoundland. And at the same time, y'all have to know the truth. Enough is enough. All this information is ancient knowledge of your science, of who you really are, and all the above. You need to know this. I'm here to help you. People trying to call my phone, I don't know who it is. You need to know this. Scam likely, which is also a distraction. Scam likely, because this is what you know how people tell the truth. When people come, phone calls, then they try to shut you off of YouTube. This is how you know the person's telling the truth. And their vibrations are high. See, everything I'm showing you, I'm backing it up. My thing is, on our channel, I want us to be able to be true scholars and know what the fuck we talking about. To learn how to cross-reference our information. Becoming teachers ourselves. Because all of you have that in you. It takes time to do your research. It takes time to start learning this information. It's not pseudo. Matter of fact, I'm about to show you the Empress of the Washita right now. That passed away, that transitioned back in 2000. Okay? But before anything, I'm going to show y'all this video also. Look, I showed y'all this video, Rick Smith, European Confessions of a Moorish Legacy. I showed y'all that video. You got to watch that. He goes over the Anunnaki, Sirius B, and all that stuff. Now, let's go back into finding the Empress of the Washita. I'm just waiting for it to download right now, and I'm gonna show y'all some of her videos. I'm not gonna play them. I want y'all to see them, and y'all can go back to this live stream, and you can go ahead and start, doing your thing. All right, Empress. Now, remember the book I mentioned, that book that the beloved Empress wrote. This is the book that she wrote. This is the book that I had. I don't have it no more. Get this book too. Excuse me. Get this book too. The Return of the Ancient Ones, written by. They have a name. Verdides Gaston Bay. I think L Bay or something. I can't remember her name all the way. Get this book. It's talking about the illegal purchase of Louisiana. See, the true history uncovered. This is who we are, beloveds. We are the ancient ones. We are considered the Washita. We are considered the Amasi. We are considered what they call the Arawak. You see the pyramids in the background, the mounds. Okay? See, I don't have nothing to lie about to the people. There she is right here. This is the Empress that passed away. See, look. Empress of Washita, stolen Louisiana purchased land. Look how long the video is. She is the one that showed that she was related to Noble Drew Ali. Okay, she is the one that pushed Nasara and Jasara. She is the one that started Nasara and Jasara. This beloved lady right here, this beautiful woman right here, is the one that pushed Nasara and Jasara. Now, when I tell you, and I keep saying that I always give thanks to the Divine Mother, the Great Mother herself, this beloved lady is the one that pushed Nasara and Jasara at his to the full throttle before she passed on. So now you know. If you don't believe me, Dr. Kia Pruitt herself said that. This beloved lady said that this country is Mu. She was the one that owned the whole entire United States until the corporation took it from her and they only gave her Louisiana. Her descendant is the new empress today, but there's a long story about that. And she knows that the country belongs to us. There were treaties that took place, y'all, but they broke all of them or waited for them to die down. And when she came to the forefront, that's when the Grand Sheik Joe Bratton Bay said they're coming after you. He told her that they were going to come after her. And she told the brother Joe Bratton Bay, the National Grand Sheik, she said, brother, we need your help because y'all got it together more than these other Moors do. He couldn't even stay long because he had to leave to come back to Baltimore. But he gave her the heads up, said, look, they're going to come after you. You got to get it together. And they did. Because people was not organized around her. She was surrounded with what you call devils, demons, incarnated, because she came up with the facts. She took the corporation to court to push Nasara and Jasara. Now, when she did that, Nasara dealt with the national, Jasara dealt with global. This whole movement was started by her. Shout out to Dr. Kia Pruitt on that. This always go back to Mu, which is this country. And Mu is connected to a Kemetic deity. Just that you know, M-U. Everything directly comes back to this particular country. I'm telling y'all, we got work to do within ourselves. It's there. I'm going to tell you a story before I get off of here. My friend that I told you I knew for 30 years, he like a brother to me. Brother name is Carlos Lincoln. One day back in the early 2000s, when I say 2000, that's 25 years ago, he was walking by himself downtown Baltimore. He came across Caucasian man. And the Caucasian man said out his mouth, this came out of Caucasian man's mouth. He said, you know what? I don't like my peers and I don't like my people. He said, because since my people been in power, the planet went up Schitt's Creek. Peace, how you doing? Hola to you, fam. Como estás to you too? So, but I would say muy bien, but it's like this. He said to my friend, Carlos, he's like, I'm tired of my people running this planet. They destroying it. Ever since they started running it, everything been going up Schitt's Creek. He said, I'll be glad. He said, no disrespect. I'll be glad when black people get back in power again. He said, because when y'all were in power, it was on this planet. He said, since my people been in power, there's nothing but war been going on, terrorism and all of that. He said, when that day comes, and he said, I hope I live to see that day when y'all get back in power, because I know that when y'all back in power again, it's going to be peace and love, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be enjoying life. That's what he said to my friend. Carlos called me and told me that story back in 2000. You know, exactly. He was self-aware like the son be, wasn't he? He knew what his people was doing wrong. And Carlos called me and told me that. And look what's going on in the world today. And it's not no race thing I'm putting out there. It's not all of them. It's not all of them. We're talking about the ones that's in power, that's being controlled by people that look like us, that was given that gave them that power. They're just doing their work. This whole thing has been going on for eons, y'all. All right, no problem, Andre. Take care. You know what I'm saying? Keep that in mind, beloveds. Keep it in mind. Got me? We got to get back our shit. We got to get back on our shit and start focusing on raising our vibrations and realize who we are and start remembering where we come from and look at this country and realize that we are the original inhabitants of this country. So now y'all know. Lemuria, which is the remaining parts of the United States, not the corporation, but the real United States, which the original 13 colonies, which was also being backed during that time by the indigenous people, the real indigenous people, who had their own civilizations, not no teepees, who had their own kingdoms, not teepees. Okay, we have to keep in mind that a lot of Moors are dirty. I ain't saying all. We got to keep in mind a lot of them, not all of them, mean well. Exactly. So we got to keep in mind our science is sacred and is connected to this planet, to this country, and all these pyramids they're finding over here, even down to the Grand Canyon, is older than the pyramids over there in so-called Egypt or Giza. Please keep in mind, y'all, this is not a joke. It's not a game. We got to remember who we are. You are the ancient ones. You are the Asiatics. Don't believe me? Look it up. Go on TikTok. Look up this Arawak Nation, the sister. Ask her about who we are. She will tell you that we are the Arawak. We are also connected to the Caribbean. We're connected to the people of Haiti or the whole Caribbean. Our tribe is also considered the original Creeks. The original Creeks. I'm going to say it again. The original Creek Nation. The original Creek Nation. We have to keep that in mind. We've been lied to so goddamn long. Yes, those brothers and sisters in Europe, they are our cousins, yeah. Because a lot of us left here to go over there to start civilizing the daggone Caucasian people. We the ones that taught them how to bathe. This is documented facts, y'all. Did y'all know that their kings and queens sat in barns with the animals and their daggone clothes were dirty and filthy until we went over there? You know what the main substance that we used to help them bathe was? Alcohol. Don't believe me? Look it up. When they were going through the dark ages, that's when we went over there. It was pretty much a subliminal hitting breakdown of us going over there, the dark ages, when we went and invaded over there and taught them agriculture, astronomy, astrology, music, also arithmetic, algebra, We taught them all of that because that was going back to Lemuria or Mu. We dealt with that technology. I really want y'all to keep that in mind, beloveds. We used alcohol to cleanse their asses. That's how bad they were smelling. Did y'all know that over there in France, during the time when they were going through their shit, that they used to have feces on the ground and it was smelling real bad over there until we went over there and civilized that and checked it and cleansed that shit? We are the ancient ones. Those same so-called Native Americans talking about their ancestors and they waiting for them to come back, all this other stuff. They talking about us, the real ancient ones. Because you gotta remember, they Asian. They also come from Siberia. That's all coming out now. And I told y'all we are considered Asiatics. So I really hope y'all enjoyed what I had to say. And like, share, subscribe, whatever the case may be. But I felt in my spirit to bring this all out, if you didn't know. I want to let you know I appreciate everybody that watches, that participate, that put comments and all of that, both positive and negative, because, you know, it says a lot about a person. But this is not my channel. This is our channel. This is your channel. And all I'm trying to do right now, or doing, is to wake up our people as much as we can over here. We don't have time for debating. We don't have time for arguments. We don't have time for any of that. Every second, every minute, every hour, there's a natural disaster happening because Gaia is letting us know it's time. She is awakening every second, every minute, every hour. She's awakening. And she's trying to reach out to our women, because if she reaches out to our women, guess who follows up? The men do. We were a matriarchal people, not a patriarch people. We knew the real seriousness of the mitochondria DNA. We knew that science. Beloveds, we knew that science, y'all. Please understand that. We knew that science to a T. We knew everything dealt with the womb man or the woman. We knew that she was the sacred geometry, that she was connected to this planet. If you look at the word geo, that deals with Earth, that deals with the planet. Geometry is nothing more than the studies of this planet, the mathematical equations of the study of the planet. That's why I have GEO in it. And the so-called Asiatic, so-called black woman is a part of that. She is the sacred geometry. She is and always have been the first teacher. She is directly connected to the divine feminine. Some people say the divine feminine. The Moors where the fezzes / tartar bushes along with the what they call them? The Shriners in Freemasonry. The difference between the Moors, their tassel is not stapled like the Shriners is, which means their nobility is only limited compared to the Moors. It goes back to what? Lemuria or Mu, which is also a feminine name. I'm just putting it out there. Everybody failed to realize we were raised by a woman, like Tupac said, named by a woman, and was given birth by a woman. I told y'all, before there was light, there was always darkness. You came out of darkness into the light. What do I mean by that? In the three trimesters of the woman, which adds up to 9, you were in the darkness, which is the water, which is the womb. And then you came into the light, which is this planet, which is this realm. What they don't tell you in the esoteric sense, that her belly button is actually a portal where that spirit, your higher self, enters into your physical body during a transformation in her womb, which is also causes her to get sick and have to eat, because you are a growing spirit inside her womb that is going through the what? The cycle of transforming into a divine being inside her womb, that's coming out to become who you are today. Everybody have potential to be divine, but it's up to you to accept your calling. This is something that they don't tell you. Even if your ass is negative and you are really not high vibrational, you have some sort of divinity in you because you're doing your job to be negative. Because you got to remember, the divine is using you as a vessel to have a human experience. This is all information that came from Mu back in Atlantis. Olumeria. This is a part of our science. And the priestesses were selected by the ancestral spirits through the high priestess or the high priest that was getting downloads and information to share with that priestess and priest to let them know what they came here to do. Don't believe me? Look it up. All of this is ancient. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay? Nothing. But I will tell you before I go, I have to show you something, because I said I was going to show something about Dr. Runoko Rashidi, right? I want to keep my promise to y'all. So I'm trying to figure out which one should I play. You know, I really want people to understand something. When it comes down to this information, anybody have access to it. It's about the hunger of wanting it. And you gotta really, like I said, cross-reference. I gave you books to check out, to look up. Please go back to the video and look at the video. Look at the books. Excuse me, I'm trying to get this together. Let me see something. Let's see which one. All right, I'm gonna play this about the Dogon tribe in Mali.
The Dogon were a group of Africans from the West Coast who had in fact been able to achieve a degree of astrological superiority and dominance that we really don't see a contemporary for or precedent for other than what was achieved in Nile Valley civilization. And people began to chase the Dogon to examine them, because you couldn't figure out how these so-called primitive Africans would have knowledge of astronomy, particularly the white dwarf star Sirius B, that Western astronomy itself is only coming to grips with. And so the Dogon have developed a kind of, I almost said infamy in the world. In fact, there's even a book called The Sirius Mystery, and it's about how the Dogon, these primitive Africans, can have knowledge of a star system that's invisible to the naked eye. So the Dogon are black people in Mali with an astronomical lore.
So, y'all heard that, right? The Dogon also know about the land of Mu. They knew about that. They know about that. So it's a whole lot of stuff that, and the name of the book that he talked about is called The Serious Mysteries. Get that book too, about the Dogon. Even though it's written by a palm-colored man. And I don't like how he made the pharaoh all looking like he was westernized and stuff. but that's a good book though. It talks about let's just say esoteric information. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna see if I can find another one because all this stuff that I'm playing is for educational use purposes only. Okay, so I gotta put that out there. All the videos, audios that I play, everything is for none other than educational purposes use only. Let me see. This is something about Dr. Runoko Rashidi on the anti-Africa movement in our community.
I think this Aboriginal thing is nonsense. I think it's anti-African. I think it's destructive to our community, and it should be nipped in the bud. And anybody who engaged in any kind of critical thinking wouldn't have any difficulty finding the fallacy of it. As a matter of fact, I even question whether it's an African thing. I think that you have white supremacist organizations that plant these seeds, even give false African identities to further split the African community. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I believe in the global unity of African people, and anything that attempts to sabotage that, I'm opposed to. I think this Aboriginal thing.
Now, if y'all couldn't hear, you might have to turn up your volume on your computer or your cell phone or whatever. But he literally said out his mouth. He said out his mouth he believed in his heart because he's a Pan-Africanist. He said that this whole anti-Africa movement. He said that he believed that it was implanted by so-called white supremacists to separate all of us from the diaspora. And he's not lying. So all you that's saying FBA, you're part of that shit. You're part of that shit. You're separating yourselves from people that look like you in the diaspora. When we all know about Mu, y'all came on messing around. You're going to find out the whole time, just like BLM was funded by George Soros. And what y'all don't know is that, if y'all haven't heard, that the Proud Boys and BLM had a meeting together. Ain't that some shit? And their problem is heterosexual so-called black men. Ain't that some shit? The fight is ongoing. What side are you on? I'm for the people of Mu. What side you all on? I know our ancestors protect and watch over us. And I'm not talking negative about the so-called Caucasian people that actually know what's up and they actually like bigging us up. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that have the ideology of ignorance when all facts is put out there to them. On that note, my beloveds, I'm gonna see if I can find one more video, and then I'm gonna go ahead and call it a wrap. But you gotta keep in mind what side you on, because a lot of these people coming out as agents and they're going against brothers and sisters from that continent, want to beef with them, and yet we know a lot of them. Honestly, a lot of them do welcome us with open arms. A lot of them. I ain't saying all of them. A lot of us people over here want to beef with our family in the Caribbean. A lot of our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean love us. You got people that are agents implanted to start this commotion and uproar when we all know about Mu. Let me see. Let me see what this one say. Alright. I think I played that about Asia. I'm trying to see if I find something that's short that he was saying. I don't want to play nothing too long. If I can't find nothing, I'll find a day that I'll probably play some of his videos, you know. Okay, I found something about Cuba. It's like 3 minutes long. waiting for this commercial.
Out
These
of
two
juice?
commercials.
Fast free delivery. It's on Prime.
Peacemaker, can you tell us a little about your
Just
skills?
waiting.
I'm considered the finest marksman in the world. And I cherish peace with all my heart.
Now, today's presentation is definitely going to look at Cuba from an African perspective, an African American perspective. Cuba has such a strong, such a profound African heritage, and it manifests itself in many different ways in the dance, in the food, and the religion, but also the history itself, and obviously the people. When we talk about the African presence, we never want to start with enslavement. So I never start there. But in this case, I'm making a point, and that is, even if we're going to talk about enslavement, which we must, I want to talk about resistance to enslavement. I don't want to minimize the suffering of my ancestors. Cuba has maybe the most, in my opinion, the most impressive or inspiring monument to the spirit of those that fought against enslavement of perhaps any country in the Western Hemisphere, maybe any country in the world. The first, and I salute them for that. In 1843, a rebellion was planned, and it was actually led by, or the major figure involved was an African woman known to history as Carlotta Lucami. In the 1970s, I think 74, 75, Cuba sent a bunch of soldiers, freedom fighters, a military contingent to Central Africa. And these soldiers played a very important role in the independence of those Southern African countries. And so Cuba, under Fidel, sent tens of thousands of soldiers there. All right, I knew that. What I didn't know until I got to this plantation is that the operation was called Operation Carlotta. After Carlotta Lucas, I was so moved by that. That was a big deal to me because it showed the historical recognition and it showed the sensitivity that Fidel Castro had. I'll never forget that. When I leave the United States, depending on where I go, but most places, I don't feel the apprehension and the anxiety that a black man feels in the United States. You know, it's like a lot of stress is just lifted off me the moment I get on a plane and go somewhere else. And in Cuba, every time I've been there, I always felt safe. I mean, Cuba is just a treasure trove of artists and artworks. I think Cuba is a wonderful place to visit. I mean, a wonderful place. Friendly people. You're going to learn so much. Well, a lot of Cuba is just really pretty. And not just the beaches, not just the waterfront, the ocean, but the interior as well. It's a beautiful island. So if you have a chance to go to Cuba, it's a wonderful travel destination. If you go.
Y'all heard that? I'm done with that. I hope y'all can hear that. But I just wanted to bring that back. Okay. Cuba, what people don't know about Fidel Castro, regardless on all the negativity that you hear, Fidel Castro also was a priest in Santeria. I know that for a fact because Professor James Smalls, when he came to Baltimore that year and I met him, he spoke on that. To this day, a lot of people that practice Santeria and Ifa are over there. And that came from Mu. That came from our connection to those brothers and sisters in the Caribbean and so on. That came from our ancestral practices, our science. And Fidel Castro and his partner, that his homeboy, I forgot his name, that was murdered or unalive, I will say, they were influenced by the Black Panther Party. Don't believe me, look that up too. They would go to the meetings where the Black Panthers would be at in the colleges and so on. Fidel and his homeboy, I forgot his homeboy name, I think it's Chavez or something like that. They were influenced by the Black Panther Party. Keep in mind, the reason why Fidel got in power is because remember the movie The Godfather, how they went over there, the Italian, mafia went over there and they had a puppet that they sent over there to be their president. Fidel Castro got that man out of that daggone office. He took over that. So keep that in mind. And did y'all know that Cuba is one of the places where so-called African Americans can go and go to school for free, college for free, and become doctors? Did y'all know that? Get their education for free, become doctors and so on in Cuba or Cuba. Also, there's that location, Cuba, is where a lot of people can become priestesses and priests in Ifa Santeria too. Look that up. On that note, beloved family, everything is connected back to Mu and connected back to the ancient ones. And I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you learned a lot. I didn't want to feel like I was, ranting. I love all of you. Peace, love, light, darkness, supreme balance. May the Great Mother and the ancestral spirits protect you and yours and guide you and yours on your journey of consciousness and to claim back your divinity. It is your little big brother, Neg Adezo, also known as Brother B. Forte Ill, better known as Green Light Cosmic Angel Fire. I love all of you. Thank you for watching.